Hey everybody!
Hi guys!
So do you have zucchini coming out your ears?
Now that sounds unpleasant.
Well, not literally. Okay, do you have an abundance of zucchini?
Or even if you don't have an abundance of zucchini, you've got to try our zucchini bread! I love it, I love it. This bread is so delicious and so moist.
Oh. And that batter is chock full of yumminess.
Oh, it is so scrumptious any time of the day. Oh.
And how about a little slathering of butter on it?
Okay, I am weak in the knees.
So welcome back to How to Feed a Loon. I'm Chris.
And I'm Wesley.
My extra moist loon. Or shall we say sticky?
Yeah.
It's very warm outside.
Great, yeah. Sometimes I'm a little moist.
You're moist, and so many people hate the word moist, but I love it, especially when we're talking about the loon and
zucchini bread.
Bread, sorry. So let's get started. We've got a bumper crop of zucchini.
So much zucchini.
You can find zucchini really any time of the year, but when we're filming this, it's literally coming out our ears.
And for this recipe, we're going to use 3 medium-sized zucchinis. And what we did is, as you can see, I cut these. So we cut off the ends of each zucchini, and then we cut it down the middle. So we got 2 pieces of it, and then we cut those pieces down the middle. So they're like this, just because I need to fit them into my food processor, which has this shredder attachment to it. Now, is that shredding? Yes, that's shredding. And I'm just going to shove them in here.
You are shredding. So you could do this also with a box grater if you happen to see us making our zucchini fritters.
Wow, look how fast that was.
The zucchini fritters, we use the box grater, but this is so easy and really, really fast.
Look at how fast.
Okay,
I love this.
While you're shredding your troubles away, I'm gonna let's start making that batter that's chock full of flavor.
Shred my troubles
away. Okay, we're gonna start off with the dry ingredients, and what I've got here is this is all-purpose flour. We're starting off with all-purpose flour. It's 1.5 cups plus 3.5 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. That's what you start off with, okay? And then to that, we're gonna add 1/2 tablespoon of baking powder, and then we've got 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, and then 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and then what's really gonna bump the flavor of this cake up, we've got 2 teaspoons of good quality ground cinnamon. And then I'm gonna get my whisk, and I'm just gonna whisk all that together, okay? Now, if you don't want to do the measurements like that, I've got in the blog post the actual weights. That's always a really good way to measure out your ingredients. But anyway, moving on. So now
let me show everybody the zucchini.
Oh, that looks great, Wesley.
See how that is just nice and
so
shredded.
You want to go with ultimately what you want is about 3 cups of the shredded zucchini. If it's a little less, a little more, it's okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, before we get going, so zucchini, a lot of times this bread is a quick bread, which means that it doesn't have to rise. There's no yeast. It really comes together very quickly.
Yeah,
it's
what I love.
I love it too. It's very similar to banana nut bread or carrot bread. The only difference is the zucchini. It carries a lot of moisture.
Yeah,
it's what makes. And it doesn't have the pack of flavor. It's delicious, but like banana and carrot really has a lot of flavor.
Right.
But what this does bring to the bread, and it does have flavor, but it gives that moisture. It makes
freshness.
It's so fresh. It's so moist. It's so wonderful.
Delicious. Now you want to do some wet ingredients,
We're going to do some.
Man.
I know. I get jumping ahead. Okay, we got 3 whole eggs, and I've got my stand mixer. You can do this in a bowl with a spoon if you want, but the stand mixer makes it really easy. You're going to put it on kind of just low spin right there, and then we've got 1/2 cup of corn oil. And then, now this is another one of those flavor enhancers. This is a cup of turbinado sugar.
I love turbinado sugar.
If you don't have that, you can certainly use just regular sugar. You can even use brown sugar. But the texture and just the sweetness, the golden flavor of that, I think is just unbelievable. Okay, so now we're just going to gradually add in this flour. I mean, they call this quick.
Be careful now, don't get it all over the counter.
Okay, thanks so much. So anyway, we're going to just gradually, and that's going to come together very quickly, which is why we call it quick bread.
Yes. So growing up in rural South Dakota, I swear all we had was zucchini bread in the house.
Really?
Yes, tons of zucchini. Well, I think any rural Midwestern town or wherever you live just has tons of zucchini.
I didn't know that. Yes. I thought I knew everything about you. I still have a
little mystery.
Well, that's an understatement. Okay, so now we're going to add these shredded zucchini to the mix. And again, this is just
That looks so good.
and the smell, you can already smell it. But anyway,
it seems like a lot of zucchini,
it
but
does.
it's not.
When you're putting that in there, you're going to think this is going to be nothing but zucchini, but it rises, and it's just.
And I love it when you cut into the bread, you see the zucchini bits. It's so good.
I know. I was going to say when I don't remember. I'll have to consult with my mom and dad, but I don't remember ever having zucchini bread when I was a kid. I didn't learn about it till I moved up east and met you. Okay, now we've got the final really flavor enhancer and texture adding component is a cup of lightly toasted walnuts.
Oh, yes, so good.
I think it just is the perfect addition to this bread.
Right. And while that's mixing, I'm going to spray my pan with some cooking spray.
Just a good old regular loaf pan.
Yeah. 9 by 5 or 9 by 15, isn't it? No, 9 by 5.
Yes,
sorry.
Right, exactly. Okay.
So good.
We're just moving right along.
Also, one other thing about this just brings memories to. This brings memories back of church potlucks. Everybody would bring, like, you'd have like carrot bread, zucchini bread. Rhubarb pie.
Now rhubarb
pie was everything.
I remember rhubarb pie. We had rhubarb pie coming out of our ears. It was kind of gross.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't a big fan of rhubarb pie.
I wasn't either, but everybody made it. And mulberry pie.
Yes.
Because we had a mulberry pie, or a mulberry pie tree.
Well, that would be something, wouldn't it?
That looks wonderful.
That's fantastic. I mean, it's so easy. We're making bread in front of your very eyes. So now we've got our oven preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's going to bake for an hour. Then we're going to let it cool for a minute, and then we're going to cut into it and eat. Yay!
Wait.
And we have bread. Oh, I love making bread.
I love this too. It's bringing me back to my Sunday school days.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing. So we put that in the oven at 350. It baked for an hour. The house smells incredible.
Oh, so good, y'all.
And then we just removed it. We put it on a rack, and you're going to want to do the toothpick test because you want to make sure it's cooked all the way through. And it's so you insert it. If it comes out clean, it's good to go. Let it rest. Let it cool in the rack for about 10 minutes, and then just very carefully invert the pan. It should just fall from it, and then you want to turn it back so it's upright, and then you can go ahead and eat it then. I think it's best if it does cool a little bit. Kind of let that zucchini sort of like get relaxed and comfortable.
So your loon doesn't burn his mouth.
So we don't want a burnt loon mouth. That's the worst. Okay, I'm going to cut into this,
that
baby.
Looks so good. And you can see the specks of the
look
zucchini.
At that.
Beautiful.
Yeah. I know. It's very exciting.
Love it.
I love it too. All right, I'm going to give this to you right now, Loon.
Thank you.
Now cut me a slice. Oh, make sure you have some butter ready. This baby loves a good helping of butter.
Yes.
Thank you.
There you go. Okay. Y'all, look at how you can see the specks of the zucchini. Yeah.
I'm telling you, like Wesley said earlier, it's fabulous in the morning.
It's still warm. The butter is melting.
It's great.
The butter is melting, people.
It's melting his butter. It's good any time of the day.
And you know what?
Yeah,
I'm just gonna pick that baby up. Okay.
I am really salivating. It's homemade bread.
Oh, amen. That is good. That is
You
so
have
good.
gone back to church.
Oh, I have. I'm getting a little tear in my eye. That is so delicious. It's got that lovely sweetness that you talked about.
From the cinnamon.
Exactly.
And the turbinado sugar.
Yes.
I love that. Yep.
So good. But then you've got that lovely zucchini in there.
Yeah.
That just adds like a bit of freshness to it. Oh,
and how would you say is the moistness?
It's very moist. Y'all, this is 1,000% Loon approved.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
I can't even. I wanted to get there quick so I could eat this.
I know. I'm so excited. Wow, that is so beautiful. You serve this to friends and. I'm telling you, it is so good. It is. I mean, I love banana nut bread, but I tell you, this gives it a run for the money. This
It is so
amazing.
good.
I was
So
going to tell
good.
you real quick. When I first learned about this, I was a friend in New Jersey actually, and they would buy when zucchini was really bountiful. Her and her husband would buy tons of it, and they'd make these little loaves of them, and then they would freeze them. This
Oh, yeah.
bread freezes
I remember
really
that.
beautifully, and then they would give them as Christmas gifts at Christmas, and that's when she first gave it to me. I was like, oh my God, this is so good.
So good. So good.
That's a really great story, isn't it? Oh my gosh.
I love this. I love this.
You know what else is really good? Our amazing zucchini fritters.
Oh, yes. That sounds delicious. Actually, this would be really good with breakfast, too.
Yeah.
You know what?
What?
It would be good with that Italian scramble that you have.
I love that. That would be good. All right, you guys, we love you so much.
Get these recipes on howtofeedaloon.com. Bye.